So let me start with you today. So Sweden is saying that Turkey is asking too much and that it can't fulfill all of their demands. Where does that leave things, and how ultimately does this get solved?
Hello, thank you for having me. I just want to clarify that anything I say is my personal opinion and doesn't reflect any of the organizations I've been affiliated with. I think that it's very key. We've seen, even preparing for today's meeting, 6 months ago, everyone was thinking that things had been settled. And as the planes landed in Sweden and Finland, they received messages that the Turkish government had changed their mind and that they weren't, after the NATO summit, they weren't happy with the agreement. So I think we've seen a new Swedish government. They've followed up with the same views as the previous government. The Swedes have actually changed their laws in order to help facilitate some of the requests that Turkey has made. But it seems that Turkey is never going to be quite happy unless they extradite about 35 people. And some of these are actually now Swedish citizens, because about 1/10 of the population, Sweden took in a lot of Kurdish refugees. So some of these people have worked their way up in Swedish society. One is now a member of parliament, and they will not extradite these people to Turkey. So this is a really strong sticking point. And a lot of these issues really aren't just about Sweden and Finland. It's also giving Erdogan more leverage over NATO, and it also plays well to his domestic audience. He seems very powerful, and it seemed most countries in NATO were willing to kind of let this play out. But we saw yesterday with Jens Stoltenberg's comments that people are starting to lose patience with how long this is running. So there are three possible scenarios. One, that it will happen quickly after Hungary, perhaps. The second one is kind of a more moderate. Maybe Erdogan will see what he can get, this tough transaction, this tough negotiation position, see what he can get. He wants to get F-15s from the United States. I'm sorry, F-16s from the United States. And that might be difficult in this current Congress. And the third thing is in NATO. They don't feel that they're getting enough support for their own security interests in regard to Syria. So the U.S. and Turkey are on different sides on those issues.
Tarek, from your vantage point, will Turkey ultimately ratify Sweden's NATO membership, and what's it going to take to get to that point?
Actually, it is extremely difficult to say that Turkey will for sure recognize the admission of Finland and Sweden to NATO, because we all know that, looking from an historical perspective, NATO members have brought their national issues to the platform of the alliance whenever any particular topic came to the agenda. We had seen in the past many examples showing that member states try to score leverages, try to score points with other countries through their influential position within the alliance. For example, we know that the United States wanted to make sure that Georgia and Ukraine become members of NATO in 2008, but France and Germany vetoed this process. In the past, we had seen that Greece, for example, very much vetoed the membership of Republic of Macedonia. We also know that Greece and Greek Cypriot administrations have been using their membership inside the European Union to score some geopolitical goals vis-à-vis Turkey. So these kind of things are quite normal with the multinational platforms. We have to underline it very clearly. Secondly, when coming to your question, now Turkey is in the middle of a kind of political election season, and Turkish nationalism has been on the rise for some time. And Erdogan and his partner, Nationalistic Action Party, have made it very quite clear that unless Sweden and Finland complies with the terms of Turkish government, Turkey will never ratify the term of the accession agreement. And before the elections take place, most likely in late April or early May, I don't expect that Turkish parliament will ratify the membership claims of these two countries within NATO. But there is also another reason that seems to have quite facilitated such kind of a role on the part of Turkey, because the international system has now been shifted to a multipolar environment. So long as we live in a multipolar environment, number one. Number two, so long as the war in Ukraine is a kind of war of attrition between Russia and Ukraine, Turkey's leverages within NATO, Turkey's maneuvering projections within NATO seem to have been quite tolerated by the alliance. So I think this situation will continue for some time.